The unexpected impacts of coffee on the body are not as you might assume. The advantages of coffee are plentiful, indeed very plentiful, and have been well documented. It diminishes the likelihood of developing prostate cancer, shields the liver from cirrhosis, and enhances mental functions in older adults. Regrettably, there exists a significant issue. Nowadays, coffee is produced in a variety of qualities, and each system, each alteration, can markedly alter the levels of caffeine and polyphenols. This presentation unveils whether coffee is beneficial or detrimental to your health, how it ought to be consumed, and whether it should be mixed with milk or not. Does coffee genuinely lower iron absorption in those with iron deficiencies? For individuals experiencing gastroesophageal reflux issues, is coffee consumption advisable? For those dealing with depression, epilepsy, or schizophrenia, consuming coffee poses no issue. However, for those with an eye disorder such as glaucoma, this presentation provides insights. Up until a few years back, it was commonly accepted that coffee was beneficial to one's health. We've also created a video discussing all the advantages and the extensive research supporting these benefits. Nonetheless, these conclusions were primarily associated with correlations, failing to clarify the direct causal relationship between coffee intake and its health advantages. The primary advantage of coffee lies in its capacity to affect the diameter of our blood vessels. Modulating the narrowing of blood vessels is vital for our well-being, as every organ in the body requires proper nourishment. Upon entering the body, caffeine can narrow blood vessels. This effect is similar to the physiological responses observed during physical activity or moments of frustration. One could argue that narrowing blood vessels might adversely affect organ perfusion due to reduced blood supply. Yet this is a transient effect, akin to the vascular constriction experienced during physical exertion. Over time, the process of narrowing and widening blood vessels proves advantageous, similarly to how caffeine consumption has been associated with the management of high blood pressure. A primary reason for coffee's health benefits is its richness in polyphenols, potent antioxidants, with chlorogenic acid being the standout compound. This acid is crucial in combating inflammation and neutralizing free radicals. However, not all coffees are created equal, and certain harsh roasting processes can destroy these anti-inflammatory qualities. As coffee beans undergo more extensive roasting, their antioxidant levels diminish. Conversely, beans that are lightly roasted boast higher concentrations of polyphenols. On a brighter note, the decaffeination process does not affect the polyphenols, making decaffeinated coffee a superb choice for retaining antioxidant benefits. When it comes to how you enjoy your coffee, whether black or with a dash of milk, it's important to consider its impact on antioxidant activity. Research indicates that even a small amount of milk, such as a teaspoon mixed with 17 milliliters of milk, can diminish the antioxidant effect by nearly half, at 46%. A cafe latte, with its 100 milliliters of milk, sees a drastic reduction in antioxidant activity by up to 95%, almost completely nullifying the health benefits. This is believed to occur because milk proteins bind with polyphenols, hindering their absorption by the body. Interestingly, this negative interaction doesn't occur with soy milk, offering a viable alternative for those looking to maximize coffee's healthful properties. Within our intestines reside specific bacteria, adept at breaking down and digesting soy proteins, which in turn release polyphenols. A pivotal facet of coffee's influence is its capacity to diminish iron absorption. Research demonstrates that consuming coffee with a meal can lower iron absorption by 39% following the consumption of a hamburger. This reduction is not observed if coffee is ingested an hour prior to eating. However, drinking coffee up to an hour after a meal can still affect iron absorption, largely because the stomach typically takes around 2 hours to empty post-meal. Consequently, for individuals experiencing anemia or iron deficiency, it's advisable to exercise caution with coffee consumption or to steer clear of caffeinated drinks altogether. While iron is a vital mineral for several bodily functions, an overload of iron can be detrimental. Frequently, symptoms of excessive iron mimic those of its deficiency, leading to the grave error of consuming iron supplements when a reduction is in order. Indeed, iron accumulation in the body poses its own set of challenges. Ironically, it exhibits a pro-oxidant effect, metaphorically rusting our bodies from within. Such is the extent that research indicates elevated levels of ferritin in the bloodstream correlate with a heightened risk of developing type 2 diabetes. This adverse impact of surplus iron on health gains further validation from studies associating it with increased Alzheimer's complications and shortened telomeres in DNA. Remarkably, for those grappling with gout, incorporating coffee to diminish iron absorption can mitigate inflammatory flare-ups, directly tied to the overabundance of uric acid in the joints. Therefore, if you're contending with gout, leveraging coffee to lower iron intake might prove beneficial. However, coffee isn't the sole substance capable of this effect. Numerous plant-based items have been discussed in another video, available through a link. Moreover, concerning mortality, is there truth to the notion that coffee aficionados enjoy a longer lifespan? A systematic review of existing literature suggests a link between coffee consumption and an extension in life expectancy. Upon consuming caffeine, adenosine's natural inhibitory function is suppressed, leading to an overstimulation of the sympathetic nervous system. This results in an increased heart rate, narrowing of the blood vessels, and heightened brain activity. It's for these reasons, particularly since the onset of the Industrial Revolution, that caffeine, notably through coffee, has been lauded for enhancing focus and productivity. The crux of the problem lies in caffeine's mechanism of action on adenosine receptors. The persistent use of caffeine to obstruct these receptors leads to an accumulation of adenosine outside the neurons due to the body's inherent adaptability. As adenosine's influence is diminished because its receptors are occupied by caffeine, the body compensates by producing more adenosine receptors. Consequently, on days when caffeine levels in the body are insufficient to block these excess receptors, one may find themselves trapped in a cycle of dependence. This scenario culminates in the full brunt of caffeine withdrawal symptoms, such as headaches, stomach discomfort, and the common mid-afternoon slump, characterized by extreme drowsiness and lethargy. Caffeine is indeed known to exacerbate gastroesophageal reflux, a trait it shares with decaffeinated coffee. Additionally, various research pieces indicate a potential connection between caffeine intake and a heightened risk of incontinence among both genders. Moreover, detailed analyses, like a meta-analysis conducted in 2014, have established a direct correlation between caffeine consumption and insomnia. For instance, a specific study advises that individuals with glaucoma should steer clear of caffeine due to its potential to aggravate intraocular pressure issues linked to their condition. The association between excessive caffeine use and sleep disturbances, including challenges with initiating sleep, is increasingly acknowledged within the scientific community. Furthermore, according to a particular case study, eliminating coffee and caffeine from an individual's diet was shown to diminish the occurrence of epileptic seizures, suggesting a notable impact on epilepsy management. Excessive caffeine consumption can lead to tachycardia, a condition characterized by an unusually rapid heartbeat, attributed to caffeine's ability to induce adrenaline secretion and stimulate the nervous system. Research has demonstrated that coffee can be beneficial for individuals dealing with conditions like Parkinson's disease. For athletes, a single cup of coffee has been found to enhance weightlifting performance. A significant factor, however, is the individual variation in caffeine metabolism, which can differ greatly from one person to another due to genetic factors. Some individuals metabolize caffeine quickly, while others do so more slowly. This metabolic rate is a critical determinant in distinguishing between the beneficial and detrimental effects of coffee consumption. Graphical data has provided a clear conclusion regarding the relationship between caffeine intake, coffee consumption, and the risk of developing hypertension. For slow caffeine metabolizers, increased coffee consumption correlates with a higher risk of hypertension. Conversely, for fast metabolizers, greater coffee intake is associated with a reduced risk of hypertension. Specifically, each additional cup of coffee consumed by a slow metabolizer can double their risk of a heart attack. On the other hand, for fast metabolizers, A daily cup of coffee could halve their risk of heart attack. Conversely, for individuals who metabolize caffeine rapidly, consuming 1 cup of coffee daily can slash their heart attack risk by half. Thus, coffee can indeed be advantageous, provided your body efficiently processes and expels caffeine. However, it's advisable to avoid coffee that is heavily diluted with milk or overly roasted, as such beverages essentially lack nutritional value. On the flip side, for those whose bodies slowly metabolize caffeine, allowing it to linger in the system, the consequences can include insomnia, cardiovascular issues, hypertension, and a heightened risk of heart attack. Despite common advice suggesting the consumption of 3 to 4 cups of coffee daily, this video enlightens us on the ineffectiveness of such general recommendations. Individual responses to caffeine, as well as the coffee type, play crucial roles. For some, rapid caffeine metabolism means coffee can be beneficial, whereas for others, slow processing may render it detrimental. Moreover, certain coffee types, particularly those that are quickly and lightly roasted, are notably rich in polyphenols. Conversely, coffee beans subjected to prolonged roasting lose their anticipated anti-inflammatory benefits due to the degradation of polyphenols. The introduction of milk negates these anti-inflammatory properties, yet this effect does not occur with the addition of soy milk. Decaffeinated coffee emerges as a favorable choice, as it lacks caffeine, which offers limited health advantages, but retains polyphenols when roasted optimally, as previously described. Motivated by these insights, I've opted to curtail my coffee intake, occasionally going days or weeks without it to gauge my body's response. This experience leads me to suggest that you, too, should assess your caffeine metabolism. Dependency on coffee, characterized by an inability to function in the morning without it, signals a concerning reliance. Conversely, if, like me, you find that coffee doesn't hinder your ability to sleep, you may be among the fortunate ones who can enjoy it freely without adverse effects. Drop us a comment to help enhance our content. Your feedback is invaluable to us. A simple like would also bring us joy, but what's crucial is ensuring you subscribe to our channel. This way, you won't miss out on any upcoming videos and continue to be part of our growing community.